guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here again, and today we're drawing a pumpkin. And this video is going to be a full tutorial from scratch to an actual illustration. So let's start. First of all, we have to choose our canvas, our size of the canvas. I usually choose the quadrat, and the next thing I do is to choose the brush. For the draft sketch, I use the sketch brush. All the brushes and the palette and the picture you can download by clicking the link down below in the description. And we're going to the settings, add, insert a photo, and just choose a photo you would like to draw. I create a new layer so that we don't draw on the layer with the reference photo. What is important here? Our pumpkin has a form of a circle or of an ellipse. So that's what we do. We just draw an ellipse. Then I decide more or less where the stem should go, and I also don't try to be perfect. Then I create form and structure a little bit, and then I go to the rinse of the pumpkin. Just take a look at the way the pumpkin grows and just create some lines here. The pumpkin itself, it's a sphere, and what is important here, every sphere has a light point and some shadow and the reflection, and this is extremely important when drawing spheres. The same for our pumpkin, we have light and we have shadows. That's what I also sometimes draw on the draft sketch, so that I make sure I'm going to draw the light and the shadows in the right way, on the right positions. After I'm done with the draft sketch, I open the layers and I change the opacity of the layer number 3 of our draft sketch to 30 to 50%, and I create a new layer and put it above the layer number 3. What I do next is I'm choosing the color I'm going to draw my actual sketch with, and I draw the sketch with the brush sketch 1. So take a look at how I draw the outline. As you can see, I don't draw a solid line, but I draw the lines with some air in between, so that we have this airy look of the pumpkin. It doesn't have to look heavy. So yeah, that's about all the lines I draw here. So until I'm ready with the outline, and then I close the layer number 3 so that it doesn't confuse me at all. What I do next, I take a look at my outline and I go and check if I want to close some lines, but you don't have to do that if you're happy with them. I erase everything I don't need, and I do it until I'm happy with the result. That's the best part, I guess. It's coloring. I create a new layer, layer number 4, and choose the marker brush. What is important here, we put the layer number 4 underneath the layer number 3, so underneath the layer with an outline. Why? Because if our new layer, layer number 4, if this layer is above the outline, then we're going to draw about this outline. That's not what we need. This is why we move the layer number 4 underneath the outline, and we can just draw the way we want to, and we are not going to lose our outline. When drawing with a marker brush, it's not that layering, so you have to create create 2 layers of the color. Alright, now we're done with the base color. I opened the layer number 3 and put it above the layer number 4 so that I can see our draft sketch, so that I can also see where the light and the shadow should go. Then I choose a darker color. You can see all the colors I choose, and what I do, I create darker lines where necessary. Just take a look at your reference photo and take a look at the rings of the pumpkin, and there you will see where the darker colors go. Then I take an even darker color and create even more shadows. And then I take an even darker color, and that's how it goes. If you're not really happy with your brush strokes, then just use the finger. Then you can blend the color. But don't use too much of this finger, as your illustration may turn out very soapy, and that's not what we're looking for. And now I'm taking the darkest color for the pumpkin, and yes, I create the shadows. Turn off the layer with the draft sketch and take a look what we've got here. Well, I decided that the color of the outline is somehow a bit too light for my pumpkin, so I decided to go darker. Well, there are several ways how to change the color of the outline, but the one I did was to create a new layer, then click the new layer and then click clipping mask, so it will be clipped to the layer underneath, and then I filled the layer with the color I needed. So what happens here is that because we use the clipping mask, the new color is going to be only where the color of the underneath layer exists. And then I click merge down so that we don't have 2 extra layers but only one. And now a very motivating and my favorite part actually is highlighting. So I choose the colors that are lighter, but I don't really use white at this point, so I choose lighter colors, yellow, lemon yellow, ivory, and I always compare my illustration to the reference photo so that I make sure I create the right lighting. You can also, of course, open the layer with a draft sketch and use it as a reference as well to see and to know where to draw the light, but it's up to you. If I don't want the parts to be that light, I again take some orange and go above the highlights. Now I decided to choose some blue color, light blue, and to create some highlights with it. Don't be afraid of experimenting and choosing maybe a bit odd colors. You never know, and your illustration may turn out really great with these strange colors. So like blue in this case, I like how it looks. And after I'm done with the blue one, I go with white. I decided not to include it to the palette, as we all know how to choose the white color and the black color, and I just go ahead and create some more highlights where necessary. And after I'm done with it, I take a shadow color relatively dark to create a bit more shadows on the rings of the pumpkin so it looks a bit more realistic. And now we are going to work on the stem of the pumpkin. What I do here, I created the base color and then I opened the layer section, clicked on this layer with a stem, and I chose Alpha Lock. With Alpha Lock, I can draw within the layer. So this is pretty great. You can draw as harsh as you want, but the color will stay within this layer. then I choose some orange, as our pumpkin is orange and it reflects on the stem, and it's also very important to show it. Now I created again a new layer and put it above the layer with the highlights, and just decided to go with a bit of shadows and reflections. Our pumpkin is done actually. What is important is to create some shadows underneath the pumpkin. And then what I usually do, I create a new layer and I take another brush, pencil 6B. I choose the white color and I go above all the layers and I highlight the lightest parts of the illustration. Don't highlight it everywhere. Don't use your white color everywhere. It's going to ruin the whole illustration. Take a look at the reference photo, and where you see the lightest parts of the object, this is where you have to use white. What I do now, I create another layer and I choose a dark color, more or less like outline, and I draw some strokes to show the shadow, and then I choose the white color to show the highlights. Pumpkin is done. I hope this video helped you somehow. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. If you like the video, then please give it a thumb up and comment down below what exactly you liked and what you would like to see next. I'm really excited to communicate with you, and see you later. Bye!